You're listening to The Wiley Wire. Here's your host, Brandon Wiley.
Welcome to episode 57 of The Wiley Wire. This is going to be a short episode. I'm going to talk about Aaron Rodgers, his comments on ESPN. We're going to cover all the hypocrites during COVID, especially some of the athletes that were ridiculed and some that jumped on board very quick. In the second half of the show, Robert Bigelow and how he says Trump does have a disclosure statement and they worked on it together. He kind of lays out what they talked about in their 75-minute meeting. Very interesting interview. Welcome to the Wiley Wire.
Mindset of coming into your last season. Like, that's a real thing, it feels like, because is everything better? Is everything funner? Is everything more awesome? Like, how do you kind of view this year versus maybe the years of the past?
I'm going to plead the fifth.
Okay.
Okay. Like
Gotta love that guy.
Okay.
Like that absolute coward, Tony Fauci. Absolute coward.
Yeah.
Hey, it's back,
Are
baby.
you kidding me?
Yeah, 111
You
times.
got a pardon and you're in front and you pleaded over 100 times
Yeah.
at the White House? What are you scared of, Tony?
Yeah.
I thought you were the science.
Yeah.
I thought you were I am science, and you get up there and you can't answer a question?
Yeah.
What are we
it,
doing?
baby.
And how much time did the network spend at that? How much time did they spend on my responses every week, on my vaccination status, on Taylor and Travis's wedding? Did they do even a minute? Did they do even a minute on Tony Fauci?
No, I don't think I've heard
I
anything.
bet they didn't.
But on that note,
Then there was another scandal this offseason, too, involving a voter for MVP, for Coach of the Year. How much time did your network spend? Where's your
Whoa!
Kim? Did your network spend on
our
that?
network.
I wish
How much time did you
Go back
spend?
to Fauci.
This is
Go back
awesome.
to Fauci.
This is
awesome.
Go back to Fauci?
Yeah.
Go back to the coward Tony Fauci and his science?
Hold on now.
Who's spending the entire time writing in his diary about how fun it is to be famous? You got to be kidding me.
Okay, so on that note,
What are you going to say about...
So Aaron Rodgers unleashed. I love it. Aaron Rodgers is a hero for saying what he said. It was getting kind of cringeworthy at times because the panel was so worried. ESPN producers were so worried. Pat McAfee was so worried. Because you don't bring this up on mainstream television. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't care. And he has every right not to care. Think about what he went through, his family went through, because he wasn't vaccinated. All they talked about is his vax status, his personal medical information, over and over and over and over again. I mean, he couldn't have said it any better, honestly. And Dr. Fauci is a coward, absolute coward. He's 100% right. I covered it many times on my show. He wrote his own diary talking about how happy he is to be a celebrity and how cool this is and how he's the most famous man in the world, how he had dinner with Jake Tapper and his wife, and how he can get in the White House without even security anymore. And the whole time, COVID came from China through gain of function. That's what happened. Everybody knows it now. And you got guys like Aaron Rodgers just getting destroyed over this. Destroyed. And I'm going to play clips of this happening so we don't forget what he's talking about. I'm going to cover Kyrie Irving sitting out games in New York because he didn't get the COVID vaccination. I remember people missing weddings. I had my wedding in the backyard. A lot of people wouldn't come from the Chicagoland area because people in my wedding weren't vaccinated. They created this fear-mongering, disgusting, especially all the people that passed away, older people that passed away. You couldn't go to their funerals because you weren't vaccinated. But I'm going to stick back to Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to roll 2 clips of him getting hounded by the media over his vaccination status. Just don't forget this, people. Don't forget what went on in 2020, 21 and how wrong they were, how completely wrong they were. Forcing a vaccination on you because you're going to kill grandma and grandpa. And then you took the vaccination, which most of the people I know did. They kept getting COVID. They kept getting sick over and over again. I didn't take the vaccination. I never got COVID. I got it once and that was it. Other friends and people, no offense to them, got it over and over again, amongst other side effects. So don't forget this, but roll the clip of Aaron Rodgers getting hounded by the media back in 2021.
Very different side of Aaron Rodgers. I think we're seeing a side of Aaron Rodgers that people are really, really disgusted by.
I'm making a decision that's based on what's best for me and my own health. And for me, it was a no-brainer.
He literally is sitting home because he might kill someone.
First, he endangers people's lives. Then he doesn't take responsibility and makes up some story. Then he blames the woke crowd. He should speak at the Republican convention.
The problem with this is it is so political. And health should not be political.
He gave this interview on Friday that was just so damaging. Promoting conspiracy theories, attacking the cancel culture and the woke mob, saying how Joe Rogan was his expert analysis.
While he says he talks to Harvard MDs about stuff, it was Joe Rogan that really guided him. He took stuff that is for horses.
Ivermectin is a cattle dewormer. Sorry, folks, that's what it is.
The embarrassment was going to begin as soon as he pointed out Joe Rogan as one of his touchstones of his critical thinking.
I'm going to critically think about what's best for my own health. I'm not judging anybody else.
What we've got today with this interview is a public figure spreading misinformation.
Aaron Rodgers is comfortable sitting down for 50 minutes and spewing verbal diarrhea that we can all react to.
It is a devastating prospect of the ramifications of what this guy is doing and what he's saying. He sounds like a crackpot.
Have they talked about exercise, a healthy diet, like eating real food, drinking water, taking vitamins, vitamin D deficiency, and what that causes in the body? No. There hasn't been any of that.
I think that was a rant that went off the rails several times, divorced from reality at almost every turn.
You came across as a national embarrassment.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers set the dumb jock stereotype back?
I'm going to have the best immunity possible now, based on the 2.5 million person study from Israel, that the people who get COVID and recover have the most robust immunity.
For him to perpetuate that, I guess it just shows us that he doesn't care.
And where's the apologies? Look at all these media figures just dumping on Aaron Rodgers. Same talking points, same nonsense. Where are the apologies? You on a national television jumped all over this guy, and you all were wrong, and now it's crickets. There's been one apology, Stephen A. Smith. We'll get to that later. It wasn't to Aaron Rodgers, it was to Kyrie Irving. But where are the rest of the apologies? You just get your talking points and try to ruin a guy's career? But good for Aaron Rodgers for standing up, and all these people owe him an apology. I hope they start coming because he deserves them, amongst others. And look at Novak Djokovic. He couldn't defend his Australian Open title. He was banned from the U.S. Open because of his vax status. Aaron Rodgers isn't the only hero, but he's one of them. There aren't that many out there that came out publicly and challenged this. Kyrie Irving did. But I'm so glad Aaron Rodgers did this. And watching Pat McAfee squirm, as he knows this is not what he should be covering. He knows he was thrown into a place where ESPN doesn't want to be. ESPN pays him a lot of money. And there are things you're not supposed to bring up. And even though he didn't bring it up, he tried to deter as much as he could. And it got real uncomfortable. And Aaron Rodgers said, it's quiet. It's real quiet here. But good for him. Good for Kyrie Irving. I mean, this guy he couldn't play home games in Brooklyn because he wasn't vaccinated. What a joke. And the whole time they knew the vax didn't work. The vax was just a moneymaker. COVID came from gain of function in China. Everybody knows it. Dr. Fauci pleads the fifth 100 times, even though he's pardoned. They say by an auto pen. I don't know what the legality of that is, but why would Joe Biden give the guy a pardon if he didn't commit a crime? He has his little journal. Look up his journal entries. They're absolutely disgusting. Considering all the lies they told us about the deaths in COVID because they wouldn't take the flu out of it. All flu deaths went like to zero, and they were all said to be COVID. You know, the death ticker on the TV, fear mongering. You know, people missed funerals because they wouldn't get vaccinated. People wouldn't go to other family members' house because they weren't vaccinated. They basically divided the whole country over non-vaxxed, vaxxed. And only the smart, normal people wouldn't let that happen to their relationships. But they did everything they could to divide us over it. So good for Aaron Rodgers. I think it's unbelievable that he did that. It totally caught everybody off guard. And then he brought up Kyrie Irving. I'm going to roll footage of Kyrie Irving taking heat from the media because he wasn't vaccinated. Roll that clip.
Bro, and here's why. Because you trusted Kyrie. Kyrie Irving betrayed you. Flat out betrayed you. Left you hanging. And while you sitting up there getting your ass kicked last night, all right? Steph Curry sitting there shimmying and joking around, laughing on the court. They were cheering for Steph Curry in Brooklyn. From open and tap, they were chanting MVP in the Barclays Center, and it wasn't for the dude averaging 28.9 points a game for the Brooklyn Nets. It was for Steph Curry. And then you juxtapose Steph Curry compared to Kyrie Irving, and what do you have? You got Kyrie Irving, who is a showstopper. Kyrie Irving, who is a superstar talent. He is box office and can't be trusted. I actually hope Kyrie Irving gets cut. I mean, this is a disgrace.
People's perceptions about who you are. Like, why would you ever care about that, you know? And I think that I fell victim to that in my past of worrying about things that I can't control. You know, if the people understood what words could do to a human being, especially where we are in today's society, then they wouldn't be invested in that. So I'm not here to dispel anything. You can continue to ask other people around me about what they think about me and continue to write about mood swings. Like, you know, human beings have mood swings. Like, you go home and you're not happy with things, or you're mad at something and you're happy. That's a mood swing. It's okay to be human. Like, I don't have to be perfect for anyone here, nor do I have to be perfect for the public. So I'm not here to dispel any perception. I'm just here to be myself. 100 and something million deciding to be unvaccinated, and that was the decision, because contract, get vaccinated or be unvaccinated, and there's a level of uncertainty of your future, whether you're going to be in this league, whether you're going to be on this team. So I had to deal with that real life circumstance of losing my job for this decision. So
Kyrie Irving was put through the ringer, but he did get an apology from Stephen A. Smith, one of the only people that I know of that came out and said they were wrong. He should probably apologize to Aaron Rodgers, but at the same time, maybe he already has. He didn't do it publicly, but he did publicly to Kyrie Irving for bashing on him. And that's a man to me. We're not all going to be right. Sometimes we're quick to the gun to start laying into somebody with our words, but it takes a man to come back and say, I was wrong. I apologize. And that's what Stephen A. Smith did. Roll the clip of Stephen A. Smith apologizing to Kyrie Irving for his words back during COVID when Kyrie wouldn't get vaccinated and had to sit out games.
And I watched Dr. Fauci on Capitol Hill yesterday. And the person I thought about most was Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving stood out in my mind because of the heat that he was taking. And our folks were piling on because that was just the latest transgression in their eyes that he was committing and subjecting the public to. He refused the vaccine. New York City's mandate made him ineligible for home games, and he linked his stance to people losing jobs over vaccine mandates. In my opinion, particularly hindsight-wise, it didn't make him stubborn or selfish. It made him brave for his willingness to stand up and say, nah, I'm not doing that. Kyrie Irving no matter what we think, may have been more right than we have given him credit for, and unquestionably was more vilified than he deserved. It turns out that no matter what the truth is behind all of this, Kyrie Irving did nobody wrong. We did him wrong. I did him wrong. And for that, I'm sincerely sorry.
I'm going to roll out of this COVID segment with some of Dr. Fauci's beautiful writings in his journal. The media skipped over this purposely, obviously, defending him. But here's some of the great things Dr. Fauci was writing in his journal that was released while the supposed death ticker was going on the corner of every mainstream media news channel. Here's what Dr. Fauci was writing. Quotes from his diary. The situation with my national and international fame is explosive and really unimaginable. Another quote. I may be the most famous and talked about person in the country and one of the most recognizable people in the world. Press still hot and heavy about me. Multiple stories per day, directly or indirectly about me. The swag around me is ridiculous. I'll stop there. There's more. That's a 1,000-page release of documents. But all these athletes that were hounded, all these people that chose not to get vaccinated should be apologized to. The people that were vaccinated, were told to get vaccinated, should be apologized to. And somebody should be held accountable for all of this. I'm not blaming it all on Dr. Fauci. There were other people in his realm. There's a reason why he got a pardon and he pleaded the fifth over 100 times when questioned.
Was his admission that he got pulmonary infarction in July of 2021 after receiving the vaccine. So he took the Moderna vaccine on national TV, telling in a very, very highly publicized press conference to show people that was safe. Then he got one of the primary, most expected adverse events, which was potentially deadly blood clots in his lung, myocardial infarction. He kept that secret from the American public, and we only learned about it because of his diary.
If you want to throw it back to an old school vibe, then download the Starstream radio app. We play the best rock from 1970 to now. Enjoy 4 different stations, no skipping, just sit back and listen. Download the Starstream radio app today. We are also available on many other platforms, including iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and more.
So I'm going to talk about Robert Bigelow. He's a billionaire, Trump investor in his campaign, donated a lot of money, but he's a big UFO guy, extraterrestrials, and he's been studying it for a long, long time. He got 75 minutes with the president. The main point of his discussion was how to let the general public know the UFOs, extraterrestrials are out there. They've been living with us for over 80 years, maybe more. That was basically why he met with the president, and to give him his input on what his disclosure speech should look like if he didn't already have one. But I'm going to roll the first part of this interview where he goes over his sit down with President Trump.
President Trump recently met in the Oval Office and advised the commander-in-chief what he might want to say to the country. 8 News Now Chief Investigator George Knapp is here with that exclusive story.
Yeah, this is interesting stuff. Robert Bigelow has spent more than 40 years and tens of millions of his own dollars digging into UFOs and possible non-human intelligence interacting with humanity. He thinks the time has come for some sort of formal disclosure, and that Trump is the guy to do it. Coincidentally or not, in the 5 months since their White House meeting, the government has started releasing piles of UFO-related information.
That the disclosure process, starting with confirmation, is a big deal. That really is important for somebody like the President of the United States to say, yeah, they're real, they're here. and eliminate all the other nonsense, all the noise that's been going on for 80 years.
You go into it with an idea of not just things in the sky floating around, some mystery. We've got the goods. Somewhere there are crashes. Do you tell them that there are bodies, that there are crash retrieval vehicles of unknown origin, or how specific do you get on that?
I basically focused on him and how to prepare himself if he's not already prepared.
Bigelow declines to repeat anything the president said in response, not even gestures or facial expressions. The report he wrote for Trump included recaps of some notable, well-documented UFO incidents and cases, along with specific comments that could be shared with the public, including a suggestion that it be delivered in one of the quick exchanges the president has with reporters aboard Air Force One.
And this is what I want you to say, Mr. President. A non-human intelligent presence has been on Earth for a very long time, using spacecraft and with performances completely beyond our capabilities and our human physics. And that's it. To say nothing else. That's it. That's all. Because what this is disclosure and it's actually confirmation.
So we're not alone. Let's just get that out now. Russia, China, no. But President Trump is actually taking a step that no president has ever taken before. They say that Kennedy, part of the reason he was assassinated had to do with UFOs, extraterrestrials, was part of the reason. Some will say that it had more to do with the Federal Reserve and a few other of his policies, but a lot of historians say that UFOs were one of the reasons why they wanted Kennedy out. But this guy got 75 minutes with Trump, talked about what he thinks he should say in his speech. He doesn't know if Trump has a speech already. He wouldn't talk about any of President Trump's words in reaction to it, facial expressions. He basically just is saying what he told President Trump, and that's a pretty lengthy time to have 75 minutes with the president. What he thinks President Trump should say is pretty brief, pretty short, not a long rambling speech. Basically, we're not alone out there. There's other beings that have been with us probably more than 80 years with better technology, better craft. I mean, there's propulsion factories all around the country that are said to house these crafts. So he's basically saying President Trump should make it short and sweet. Don't elaborate too much. But I just thought this was fascinating information. This guy's a billionaire. He's not doing this for the clicks. He's not doing it for the likes. He's not giving away President Trump's words. He's not even giving you his facial expressions. And he got 75 minutes with the president. So we are not alone. That's 100% fact now. But it's basically how many puzzle pieces are they going to actually release for us to get a good picture of what the puzzle is. And right now, we know there's craft that humans have never seen before, doing things that spaceships, aircraft have never done before. We got Steiner Ranch. You can say it's made up, say it's not. There's documentation that some weird things have happened there. We have documented military, Air Force people saying they've seen craft they've never seen before. We have some grainy video of it, but there's so much more out there that needs to be released. And I kind of agree with Mr. Bigelow. Trump needs to make it pretty short and sweet, and then kind of let the evidence that comes out dictate how to respond. But I'll keep updating you on this as more and more comes out. I thought this was bombshell information. that they are 100%, in fact, working on a speech to let us know that we're not alone. We're now 1 year and 7 months into President Trump's second term, and the longer we wait for the SAVE Act to pass, the longer we wait for paper ballots, same-day voting, election day is a holiday, the more people are starting to believe it's a uniparty. That's where we're at right now. That's the temperature of the general public. Once we get that done, that's the most important. The second most important thing is to have term limits, mandatory caps on fundraising, including no foreign money. For an example, I've given it in previous episodes. The presidential race leading up to being the nominee to run for your party should have a cap on how much money you can raise. That money is then added to the general election with additional cap money being allowed for you to raise money, but it's equal across the board, Democratic and Republican and independent, as long as you're running for president and you're the nominee. There should be a certain amount of debates that are held, and every candidate should have to be in the debate or they have to withdraw from running. People that are running the debates can't be from news networks that have a bias. They have to be people that are asking fair questions that the American people want to hear. They're not there for zingers, one-liners, and notoriety. Moving down to Senate and Congress seats, there needs to be caps on money raised for those campaigns. Again, no foreign money. The caps to be determined later, but they could be nowhere near what is being raised by outside foreign money for certain small little Senate races in different states across America. Governor's races need to have a cap. Mayor races need to have a cap. Maybe they do it depending on population for cap numbers, and down the list it goes. This is pretty easy to do. I don't know why it's not being done. If you think about why it's not being done and how there are smart people running our government, you can call them stupid, but they're doing what they're doing on purpose. There's a reason why they don't want strict, standard rules like this to be applied. Each candidate from each race, no matter if it's alderman, to mayor, to governor, to Senate seat, to Congress seat, to president, should have to do all the debates. But that's my election update. There's not much new news other than the SAVE Act is waiting to be passed. We need paper ballots, and I'm going to keep updating you on this. Listeners in the greater Salt Lake City area, if you ever need tree service, call Scott and the team at South Valley Tree. They have over 50 years experience. No job's too small and no tree is too tall. So if you need tree service in the greater Salt Lake City area, look to Scott and the team at South Valley Tree, southvalleytree.com.
The Wiley Wire segment where Brandon asks, "What the f*** is this?"
Senate candidate from Hawaii, Kirill Bazin, gets knocked out on the beach in Hawaii. He's a 40-year-old man. Apparently, he was laying suntanning in Hawaii by himself. He had his music blasting, and the family next to him asked if he can turn down the music a little bit. Altercation started. Mr. Bazin started attacking the family with his words, getting aggressive. He doesn't push forward on the dude, but then he attacks his wife, threatens the wife, calls her a bitch. That's when the 61-year-old man from this party decided to knock him out. And after he knocks him out, he wakes him back up. Talk about a gentleman. there's an all-time gentleman knocking somebody out, it's the guy that knocks the guy out and then wakes him up, makes sure he's okay. And then this guy proceeds to get back up again. He's all out of it. But I hope to God this guy doesn't get elected in Hawaii. Because some of these candidates I'm seeing, it's absolutely unbelievable. And I guess this guy has prior arrests for incidents like this, a restraining order, but just unbelievable. Roll the clip of Senate candidate for Hawaii, Kirill Bazin, on the beach in Hawaii getting knocked out.
You! Not my girls, right? You're not talking about my girls, right? I don't care. Don't do that, dude. Don't do what that. What are you going to do? Go ahead. Just go. What are you going to do? Don, go ahead.
Am I? I didn't put him in the ground. I didn't put him in the ground. I put you in the ground. I can't. All right.
Oh, you're going to hit women now.
Let's go, bro.
Go ahead.
I'm good.
Let him have
it, mother.
Mike,
all right, good. It's over. It's over.
He's a child.
I'm a child? I'm 40 years old.
You should act like it.
Ground. But you in the hospital. Bitch.
Yeah, there you go, bud. Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, chair thrower.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Yeah. What the about, Holly boy? Yeah? Try to stay right there.
That's a wrap of episode 57 of the Wiley Wire. Like us, follow us, share us on all platforms at The Wire. You can find us on social media. We do daily reels on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. Follow us and like us there. And of course, watch our full podcasts on all other platforms at The Wiley Wire. Thanks for staying wired, and we'll see you next time.
The Wiley Wire dives into sports, music, politics, health, and trending topics for entertainment, info, and education. Listener discretion advised. May include mature themes, explicit language, controversial views, or sensitive content. Not suitable for under 18 or all audiences. Parents, please supervise. All opinions from hosts, guests, and contributors are personal and don't reflect our official views. Information isn't guaranteed to be accurate. Do your own research and consult qualified professionals.